This week we are still on the topic of values. So if you have been following along in the series, you would have seen last week we unpacked the idea of core values and identifying what your values are and why they're so important and integral when it comes to the decision-making process around your strength and physique goals. So what we want to do inside of this video is give you a bit of a framework or a bit of a system that allows you to have a process of identifying how to behave in alignment with those values, because what we do know is circumstances are going to come up where it might be easier to behave out of alignment with those values and inevitably out of alignment with that end outcome that you'd want. So what we want to do is give you a framework to be able to streamline that decision-making process to make sure that majority of the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis that are in alignment with those goals that you have for yourself. So the method that we have come up with and the approach that we use when it comes to pulling yourself out and being able to reflect on the decision-making process and choose a better way is the stop, ask, how, and apply method. So stop. It's the first process that we have, which means stopping yourself before you go to make that decision and bringing your awareness to the decision that you're about to make. So it means taking yourself off autopilot. So an example of this would be, realizing that you've gone into the pantry and your autopilot decision has been to grab like a packet of chips out of the pantry. It's something that you do on a regular basis, but it is something that you're trying to change. So having some awareness around the behavior that you've just engaged in. So next up is ask. So what we want to do here is ask which decision actually aligns with your values. So ask, what your values are. So identify what they are, if they're fitness, challenge, self-awareness, persistence. So actually saying to yourself, I've realized that I'm running on autopilot here, and this is simply out of habit. Knowing that this behavior isn't serving one of my top values, what could I do instead? So instead of grabbing the whole bag and, parking myself on the couch, instead I could actually portion out the portion size that I'm going to have, track it into my MyFitnessPal and make sure that it aligns with my food targets for that day. So then what we want to do is define our core values. So how does this actually work in favor of the values that we have chosen as our top priorities? So fitness, we're ensuring that we hit our macro targets. So when it comes to the end of the week, we're happy with the ranges that we're in when it comes to our compliance. If we have a think about challenge, it's knowing that it's not always going to be easy and we might need to make decisions that are uncomfortable or that go against what we're naturally inclined to do, but that's okay because I'm okay with this discomfort. It might be persistence. So knowing that the more frequently that you engage in the new behavior, the easier that's going to come. So making a behavior that's a little bit uncomfortable actually aligns with persistence. So once we have stopped ourselves, we've asked ourselves how it aligns with our core value, we've defined specifically which values we're reflecting in that behavior, we can then apply it. So we can make an informed decision based off the framework that we've just worked through. So in this scenario, we would know that the appropriate behavior would be to, portion off a little bit of what you would like, move on from it, take it in, track it all into your app and move on with your day and continue to, make decisions in alignment with your nutrition. So now you can see that we've actually been able to run a microscope over the behavior, pull yourself out of doing something that you potentially regret down the track because it's just a simple autopilot response, and choose something that's going to serve you better off in the long run. The more frequently you're able to go through this process, the less frequently you're probably going to have to do it. It's going to allow you to make decisions that are in alignment with that goal, that are in alignment with your values, and this is going to become your new autopilot, which is a really cool way of rewriting those behaviors, rewiring how your brain operates, and put you in a really solid position to make consistent progress towards your goals.